let's talk briefly about your business plans, which of course were all formulated and finalized in a pre-COVID world. Have you simply ripped them up, or are you adapting them to this new operating environment? And how have your priorities perhaps changed as a result of this unexpected situation we're all dealing with? Steve, first to you.
I think firstly we've got to slow down from the adrenaline rush of crisis and get into a mode of business planning in a more structured way. I think the biggest danger of acting on that too quickly is we respond to the wider media, and I think that could bring some negativity. So I think we need to be realistic as leaders, but people are looking to us to provide a positive mindset. So we know we've got a new set of challenges. We know our strategies of 4 or 5 weeks ago need to be refined to meet the new normal. But I think it's for us as leaders to set an example that's positive. And I think both Raveen and I are optimistic. I hope to think also realistic. So we'll bring that to the table and refine those plans accordingly, but based on news sources and facts that are reliable rather than the hype and media that often surrounds this type of event.
Just on that point, Steve, because there is a risk as a CEO, isn't it, that you can get very caught up in the here and now when you're in a crisis environment, and you obviously take your eye off the wider game. How are you checking yourself in that situation, in those situations?
I think we try and stay connected. We are talking to our network of people across both our own business, but other businesses, our customers, to try and find out what they're experiencing. As I say, I think it's an environment where people sharing ideas and thoughts, as we are today, is essential to the right way of going forward. And from a personal perspective, just giving myself some time in the back-to-back video conferences to have a bit of self-reflection and do think about what comes next and how I will structure myself as a leader to provide the support to the business.
Thanks, Steve. Raveen, what's happened to your business plans and your wider strategy in this environment?
Well, we're an infrastructure company, so we have long-term plans. So I believe our long-term plans don't change much. There is going to be a few changes that we will have to look into. The big drive on growth in Auckland, whether the growth will still be there in the immediate future or not, and the impacts on our infrastructure spending. But leading in a crisis, this is the challenge. The focus needs to be on now. But as a leader of an organization like Watercare, we have to think about, well, what will happen 6 months from now? What will happen beyond that? So we've got to do both. We've got to be ambidextrous. I think, plans, Eisenhower said, I think it was Eisenhower, and I believe in that doctrine. Plans are not as important, but planning is critical. And so we need to be able to continue planning given that the environment is changing around us. What has been important for me always and for our company is that we stick to our core values. So as long as we stick to our core values, we can revise the plans. We know what we're here for, we know what we're here to serve, and we know what the drivers are. So changing plans is not new to us. It's happened before, and we just adopt. We're agile.
Jeff, your thoughts about managing strategy and I guess this ability to adapt and somehow deal with the here and now while keeping a focus on what's to happen in the future, but knowing that a lot of that is very uncertain, as Raveen alluded to. I mean, how do you make assumptions for sort of forward planning at the moment? So a lot of information vacuum, as it were.
Yeah, I think, Andrew, it's very much like Raveen said. It's about having and reassuring people and clarifying what the vision is, what the mission and purpose is, where we're going, and why does it matter, and also what our values are and how we're going to rely and use and embed those values as we go through the stormy time. It's a bit like tacking up a harbour and reefing your sails down in a storm, really. And so it's not going to be a straight line. So this is where we're going. This is where we're going to end up. But in the meantime, we're going to postpone all of these activities and we're going to amplify these other ones, because this is the ones that our customers and clients right now really value. So we're going to be changing, a bit like tacking up the harbour. We're going to be changing virtually by the week by keeping in touch with our clients and understanding what their changing needs are, because they're going to change week by week. So I think leadership during this time is much more, being right hand on the tiller and really being following your customers. If you're not following your customers, of course, so the CEO has the role of clarifying this on a weekly basis, essentially, with the whole of the organisation.